Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Today on DoodleDrawArt, we're going to draw a penny pencil. So to start off, we're going to draw an upside down V at the top of the page. And it shouldn't be too skinny, and it also shouldn't be too wide, because this is the very top of her pencil head. And then we're going to draw lines that go straight down from this corner. So just coming straight down. And from here, same thing, coming straight down. Great. So this is going to be the bottom of her body, right down here. And we might as well go ahead and draw her little feet. So all you have to do is make a little bit of a line underneath here, and it's going to curl around like this and come back to touch this bottom of the body. And the same thing for the other side. So we'll make a little curve. Comes under like this and back around to touch the tops like so. Alright, so that is the very bottom of Penny's body. Now there's this is like her head is like the eraser part of this shape. So right here is like this metal piece that holds the eraser onto the pencil. So it's like it looks a bit like a belt. And what we're going to do is we're going to just make a curve line, so it doesn't go straight across, it has a bit of a curve to it, and then another one just above it, right around here, that runs parallel. So parallel means like train tracks running beside each other. And so just where those meet the straight line that you drew, there's going to be a little bit of a bump out. So a little bump out like this and a little bump out like that. So when I was drawing my lines, I sort of went back and forth over them, and I did that on purpose so that I could make it a bit thicker. Just like so. Now inside of this area, you're going to make 6 small circles. So 1, 2, move over, 3, 4, move over, 5, 6. Great. Okay, so let's draw her face now. So her face is going to be down here in this area where the eraser is. And what you're going to do is make a circle here for her eye. Okay, so this foot is going to be just to the side of her other foot. This is not her eye. This is just where her eye is going to go. And her nose is going to go here, and her mouth is going to go here. So I always like to sketch these things in just faintly, and then an upside down U for her other eye right here. I like to sketch these things in faintly because it helps me decide if I'm doing it right. So her eyebrows will be here, and her other eyebrow will be here. Okay, so I know I have enough room to draw this well, so now I'm going to go ahead and do a good job on drawing this. So I'm going to start with her mouth, and it's just going to be a nice, easy U that comes back up, and then we're going to have area in here for her tongue to be a lighter pink and then a darker red in the corner here. And then her little nose is really just a tiny line like this. But for her eye, we're going to draw her cheek first. So from the point of her nose, just come over a tiny bit and make this little arc, and that's going to be her cheek. So then we're going to draw a circle that comes from here and just goes around and back to that line. So that's the big outline of her eyeball. I'm just going to erase my little sketch marks now so that you can see that better. And now we're going to draw the features for her eye. So what we're going to see is a circle that fills up most of this area. I'm just going to make her cheek a little chubbier. That's better. I'm going to draw a circle that fills up most of this eyeball area. So it's going to come like this. Circle, around, and there. So it actually taps her cheek a tiny bit right here. And then we're going to draw a white reflection inside her eye, and then another tiny little reflection down here. So all of this will be black, and colored in the circle will be black, but just that one little part there will be left white. And then when we color her eye, we're going to use a turquoise color for most of this. We're just going to leave a tiny little bit along the edge here that will be white. And then she has eyelashes, so we're going to draw one here and two down here. Just like that. Great. Now her other eye is winking, so we're just thinking about this cheek shape, and it's sort of making the same idea over here. Just going to make an arc that comes like this, and it makes a teardrop, comes back. So here we have that teardrop shape, and from here there's going to be one big eyelash still showing. And then her eyebrow on this side, a nice little curve to match the other one. So when you're drawing these eyebrows, you want to go closer together as you get further down on the edge. Awesome. Okay, so if you look at this picture on the website, like on the Shopkins website, you're going to see that it's really sparkly. So it's fun to draw these little sparkles at the same time that we're drawing the image. So the way I did that was, I'll just draw one over here. I drew an up and down V, and then you could do the bottom one next, an up, a down and up V, and then you could do the sideways one, so leaving space, not touching, out to the side, and out to the side, and then you just make small V's inside like this to connect them. And that looks like a twinkling, sparkling shape. So we can draw those in various places on Penny once we get everything finished. So now we're going to draw the part up here. I know we didn't draw her arms yet. I'll do that in a minute. Up here we're going to draw U shapes that are really just arches. There's one. We're going to do 3. So now 2, and one last one, 3. And from here we're going to make lines that come down right in towards this part where the eraser is held on, and another one here, just like so. And then we can draw the top. It's just going to be a curve to show where the yellow top of the pencil is. Okay, so that was easy. Now all that's left is her hands. So in this hand she's holding a purple pencil. So I'm going to draw the pencil first. And so it's the same idea. It's just going to be a little triangle upside down, and then straight lines coming this way, and then a curve at the bottom. So now I know what she's holding. So when I go to draw her arm and her hand, all I have to do is make a scoop on the pencil. That's her hand that's holding it. Then just keep going around and back. So now I'll erase this little pencil line because we can't see through her hand, and I'll erase her body line because we can't see through the pencil, and that's it. So now we can draw the details on the pencil. So just a scoop across the top, and then some lines coming down like that. And in her other hand, she's holding something that she was writing. So over here, we'll draw like a rectangle shape for the thing she's holding. And you can see some writing, and it has a flower, just like that. And then she's holding this with her thumb. So you're going to make a thumb right here on the page. And then it just comes over towards her body. And then underneath here, you can see her arm a tiny bit. Okay, so then we just have a tiny bit of details up here. We have some, like, to show that this is wood. We'll make some lines up at the top. And we can add a couple more sparkles to our penny pencil. So let's just draw a tiny one here. I'm just doing this quickly because I already showed you how, but if you want to pause the video, it's always a good idea. If ever I'm going too fast, just pause the video. So there's a nice big sparkle up here. And we'll put one more up here. So these are all of the lines that we need to draw Penny. And now what I'm going to do is go over this with marker, but I'm not going to use black. I'm going to use lots of colors. So I will do a little bit of black just to do her eyes. So I'm going to grab my fine point Sharpie and go over these dark lines right here for a winky eye on one side, and for the eyeball and the circle of this eye. And I'm going to be really careful here that I don't go inside those little shapes that I purposely left not colored in. And here I go, being very careful. Because that's what makes her so cute, is this little sparkle in her eye. And then her eyelashes. Great. Now the rest of this whole entire character is going to be colored using just the marker color that is the color of her of the things that she has. So I'm going to put yellow up here, and then I'm going to move to pink. But when I color in this yellow section, I'm going to make it a little bit dimensional. I'm just going to leave a little white edge up here and color in the area that's below it. And now I'm going to switch over to pink. And now I have two colors of pink. I might even get a third one. I think I will. So these colors of pink, I'm going to use the darkest one as my outline. So I'm going to come right from the top here, and I'm going to go down and down all of these edges. Now I'm careful not to go over the star, the sparkle star, because I want that to look like it's at the very front. And coming down like so. And on these ones. And coming down. You could do this with black. No reason that you can't. I just like it when my characters have, when they look more cartoonish and they're more like the real characters. So that's why I choose to do it this way. So right now I'm doing all of the outlines of her body in my darkest pink. I wonder if you have penny pencil in your Shopkins collection. I don't collect Shopkins myself, but they're pretty cute. Alright, so I think that's all the lines I'm going to do with this darkest pink. And now I'm going to move to my lightest pink. Just going to double check what color this is. Oh, that's great. So I have this quite light pink, and then I have also a brighter pink. So I think those are the only pinks I have. Well, I have this one, but it's darker. I have a lot of pinks. These are just Crayola Super Tips, and they do come in a lot of colors. So it's good to kind of go through and just see what you have before you get started coloring. And you might even want to use color pencils. That might be a good idea, because especially for a character like this one that we're trying to not have it too dark. So let's just see what happens here if I switch to color pencil. I think I'm going to like that. So I'm going to use color pencil up here in these lightest sections of the character. And again, I'm being careful not to go into my sparkle. In fact, I think I will trace my sparkle with a marker. And I could either use my fine point Sharpie or I could use gray. I think I'm going to go for gray because it won't be as dark. I want her face to be the darkest thing. So I'm just going to, I'll maybe do this in time lapse. I'm just going to trace over these little sparkles. Alright, so I'm going to trace over in purple for this little pencil that she's holding. Using purple marker. And, oh, I did miss one line with pink, and it was just underneath her cheek here. Like so. And she's got a little book in her hand, and I'm going to use this light blue to do the outline of the book and the drawings that are on it. Okay, so now I'm going to use my eraser and erase all of the pencil lines that are showing in behind. I often do this part in time-lapse, but I think we'll leave it in full speed here so that you can color along with me, or if you're done, you could just have a look at one of these other videos down the side and go on to the next one. So the nice thing about color pencil is that you can press lightly for light colors, and then you can press using the same exact color pencil, you can go over it again or press a little more firmly to get a darker color. So I'm just coloring in pink all through here, and then I'm going to come back over and add darker pink. So it's often a good idea to work from lightest to darkest when you're coloring things. So put your light colors down first, because it's easy to add more color later, but it's hard to take color away. You could use your eraser a little bit to take color away, but it's not as easy as adding more. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of an idea of a line of reflection here, as if my light is casting from above. So I'm just going to draw this like so, and then I'll put another coat of this pink color pencil just below that hint of shadow or light underneath it. I can never decide which kind of coloring tool I like the best. I really like color pencils for shading, and I like markers because they're so nice and dark, and I like crayons sometimes, but not as much. I used to like the old crayons that were super meaty, like when you colored with them you had a lot of color would come out, but nowadays I feel like crayons are kind of waxy, unless you buy like artist quality fancy. So now I'm just adding a bit of shading into this part here. I left a little bit of a line of white in this section, and now I'm going to make it darker in her little face area here. And I'm going to make a rosy cheek right here, and another rosy cheek right here, and then shade the rest of this in a bit darker. All right. And I'm going to go darkly here, but I'm going to leave a little edge down the side here where it's brighter. Just like that. And this is lots of fun. I'm having a fun time drawing pen and pencil today. Okay, so now I'm going to do the belt, and I'm going to keep going with this whole idea of color pencils. So gray through here, and again, just a nice light coat first. You might notice here I've got my finger on the edge, and I bang into it a lot. I do that on purpose. It stops me from going onto the white paper where I didn't want to color without really having to be as careful. Okay, so same idea, the way the light is sort of casting. We're just going to have a darker area that's off to this side, and it's going to gradually lighten. So right here is the darkest of the dark, and then as you go this way, you just can kind of taper it out so it's not as dark again. And then we could make the insides of these things a little darker, just a little. Super. Okay, now we want to do the pencil that she's holding. So I've got a purple, a color inside here. This is pretty dark. There's not a lot of shading in this. And then we have her little book, and I have a turquoise color here. These ones are Laurentian. I have a couple sets of color pencils, and they've all been mixed together because they got dumped out. Does that happen to you? They got dumped out, and then they didn't get put away. Okay, I'm gonna use that same color for her eyeball. So we're gonna have a line of this color right along the edge of her eye, pressing pretty firmly, and same color keeps coming through in that little space right here. And then I'm just gonna darken it up across the top here. I might even need to get a darker green. Not pine green though. Pine green would be too green. Alright, so this is aqua. Aqua's good. It's gonna go like here. A little darker, a little brighter. Awesome. Alright, and I noticed around here one day recently that I have some this is a metallic silver. So I'm gonna make these sparkles a little bit metallic. I don't know if it will show up or not, but I'm just gonna make X's inside the middle, just so they're not so plain and empty on the inside. Alright, and now her mouth. Then we'll be done. So her mouth is pretty vibrant, so I'm going to go back to marker on this, and I'm going to make her tongue is going to just come to the side like this and be colored in nice bright red. And then there's a darker shadow, so I need almost a burgundy dark red for that. This should work. And if it's not dark enough, I'll find a darker one. Not dark enough. Oh, dry marker. Somebody didn't put your cover back on. Sometimes you can rescue dry markers by adding water very carefully, but generally you cannot. So that's sad. It's a sad day when your marker dies. Okay, I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything at all. I have all of the things. So, if you would like to comment on this video, if you liked watching it, please click like, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel for more DoodleDrawArt. Thanks for watching.